Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. It's always interesting to put your watches on a time grapher as I've shown you in a previous video. So I've put these watches on the grapher today, and things you can learn is, for example, how to slow them down during the night depending on the position in which you put them. If your watches tend to run too fast, you also see just by moving the watches into the time grapher from one position to the next which ones have a very good shock absorption system. Different systems that exist from Rolex, from Patek. Also, you see a bit how clean the tracing. I'm not a specialist, but you can see that some watches have a dirtier path on the grapher than others. And yeah, finally, I think I've had a couple of little surprises, so we're just going to go through it. And I'm really happy actually about some results, and some of them I was really expecting. But what's interesting is the variation between positions. So we start with the Lange. It's a manual wind running at 3 hertz. And you can see face up at 45-degree angle. Here is a very good. The amplitude is not so high. It changes depending on the position. The beat error is really good on the Lange. So it's a used model. It probably has a couple of years running, but you can see it's still in fairly working a tight range. What's interesting is that it doesn't matter how much you pay. It doesn't mean the watches, even the ones with the tourbillon, have a COSC, a chronometer grade certification. And certainly this Lange doesn't pretend to be that. It's more of a pocket watch version of a wristwatch. Now the Tudors, I'm sure you're very excited to see those, and you won't be disappointed. They're quite amazing. As you can see, +3 here on the blue Tudor. The blue and the black will run a bit differently, and turning at a 45-degree angle only changes by 1 second per day the rate. The beat error is at 0. 4 hertz watch, and the amplitude is nice and strong, and you see +2. Obviously you can go to weird positions. I put them head down because that's how they are when you work with them, and usually they're flat during the night or when you're at your desk. It's the most common, but of course as you move during the day, the people who regulate these will try to get an average. But here the watch, you see, it's within the whole change, the variation is within 2 or 3 seconds. It's really impressive. I even tried face down, which is very unusual, and still +2. So what we saw is +1 to +3 is just amazing accuracy. And now the black one, I think it runs even better than the blue one, if it's even possible. And you see here face up is just a bang on 0, maybe +1. Very big amplitude in that position, and the beat error is at 0.0. Just a stunning movement. So to have 2 watches with the same movement like this, with the same accuracy, it really says a lot about the quality of the watch. I did one more pass flat to see if it was really so steady, and this is just fascinating to see. And it will be interesting to see in your daily life how you average. Usually this one averages just short of a second a day when you keep it on the wrist all the time. You have to understand that these watches usually are regulated with the idea that you're going to put them down face up during the night, which is a position where usually they're gonna speed up a bit. But we'll see. And you see here on the wrist kind of position, losing a bit of the beat of the rate, and you see like this. So really, I mean, we are in such tight measurements here with the Tudor black base that you can basically say that they're perfect, or as near perfect as can be. And it's really impressive for a brand new movement. I see some jumps though when they are vertical, some jumps from minus to plus. So it's not the ideal position for the balance I mean, it doesn't really mean much when you have small little variations like this, because it's really the average of the day and the night and all your activities. I mean, imagine your day, how it's going. You're gonna walk, you're gonna sit, you're gonna do plenty of things, raise your arms, play tennis even, or go in the water and swim. The watch is gonna go through so many things, but overall I'm really pleased with the accuracy of these Tudors, and well done, making a brand new movement that's performing so well. There you go, you can see the amplitude, beat error are still very good. Let's take a bit more time in this position to see how it averages. I mean, you have to give the machine some time. You have to give the watch sometimes to adjust to a new position. I mean, take a good look at the dots there on the lines. Some watches will be cleaner than that. Now let's move on to Omega. Certainly not a chronometer, this chronograph, but it can be regulated to be very accurate. Actually, I had it serviced one time because it had been magnetized, and it came back right on the dot for a few days, and then it started going just a bit faster, and it sort of settled in that pace. Now let's just move on to the Rolex Explorer 2, and you see how clean the path of the grapher is with this watch. Now face up, it's going to gain, as I mentioned, a bit more speed, but then when you turn this one to at 45-degree angle, you get to a near perfect performance, +1, +0. And interestingly, when you put it like this vertically, it doesn't show the jumps that you saw on the Tudor before. It stays super steady, -1, 0, and here again, very different position, it's still at 0. Do know that the beat error is still 0. This watch is about 2 years old. The amplitude, you can research exactly what it means. I think as long as it's not under 200, you still have a healthy watch. But yeah, from your daily use, you know your watch, and I know this one to work usually between +1, +2 seconds a day. And usually when I wear it, I'm going to wear it at night as well. So it's not going to be flat necessarily during the night. And then if you want to have fun with your time grapher, these are not expensive to buy. You can try weird positions to see what happens, and you see here, then you have unusual measurements because they're not the typical positions used by the watchmaker to regulate the watch. Now my Sea Dweller 4000 has a few years under the belt. Hasn't been used much, I think, by the previous owner. So it's about 5 years old, and I wear it regularly. And you can see it's performing very well and very steady with a strong amplitude, a bit larger beat error maybe. Let's see a couple more positions on this watch. I mean, it's still near perfect. And now with the crown up, a position that many of you might put your watch in if you just put it on your night desk, on your bedside table. Now the big surprise was this second-hand Patek that I bought without box and papers, and it came really in a pristine condition. And look at this path on the time grapher, and look at the performance. So this is face up, and it's only +3, +2. Now as I'm gonna start to rotate, I give it another pass there. Sometimes, it really takes time for the grapher to steady. Now at 45-degree angle, let's see what happens. And there, I mean, I really felt like magic was in the room. 0, 0, 0, great amplitude, low, still reasonable beat error. And what's interesting is that when you turn it, you don't see, I mean, some watches will show a big bumps, big moves in the path on the time grapher. And here, there's barely anything. So it's probably due to the technology developed by Patek. So it's not balloonies, you know. The gyro max, what is it called? Spiroflex, whatever it's called. But I mean, look at it. I just turned the watch. There's barely a little bump. While when I was doing that with Seikos, for example, it would create a sort of a snowfall all over the time grapher. And here you can see that the performance stays around +1, +3, -1, 0. I mean, this is just near perfect. And it's really makes you happy when you take a chance on a used watch coming from overseas, very expensive watch. And it goes to show that the technology that Patek puts, although it's not a sports watch here, it does work. So I hope this was useful to you, maybe inspire you to get a time grapher. And I leave you with a nice little video of my Lange, which I just keep on staring at like a maniac outside. Cheers, guys.